It's a full live Q&A. It's completely interactive tonight. Everybody who's here can ask whatever they want. We're just going to stay on until 10 o'clock, and we're going to be talking all things mindset, positive psychology, mental toughness, mental resilience for actors specifically, ultimately navigating the acting industry with a bulletproof mindset. We did a live training on Saturday morning it was amazing. We had about 300 actors, 400 actors came through on Saturday morning to a live training that we did on self-confidence, particularly on procrastination and anxiety as well. Let me just go over, because this is going to be available. The replay is available for a little while longer. Technically, as I'm recording this, it's only got a couple of hours left. We said we'd take this down at midnight, Matt, but for you, I don't know, for you guys on air who are watching live, maybe we just leave this up for a couple more days, because it is the amount of comments I've had from this, that people are like, this is just, been so useful and so helpful. Might leave it up for a couple of days, but if you go to bulletproofactor.com. I've got so many websites. Go to bulletproofactor.com/replay. For a limited time, it depends when you're going to be watching this video, you will be able to watch this 2-hour training me and Matt did, particularly covering, like I say, self-confidence issues, procrastination. If you're feeling busy but not productive, this is massive for you. And anxiety as well, around auditions, around self-taping, ultimately just around putting yourself out into this industry and being seen. Bulletproofactor.com/replay. Go check that out. I've put the link pinned on Facebook right now. So that's going to be there for a limited time. And there's also details on there, because we also unveiled something super exciting that me and Matt are doing in November, a full weekend for people who really want to dive deep on positive psychology and really mastering their mindset. We're doing a weekend in November across Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th on Zoom. It's going to be roughly 16 to 18 hours of live coaching across that weekend. There's also going to be 30 days of stuff happening after that for people who get involved in this. Things like accountability groups that Matt's going to be hosting on WhatsApp, Facebook groups, there's bonus podcasts, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But if you go to bulletproofactor.com, you can read all about it. Bulletproofactor.com/replay to get that free training video, so you can sort of dive into a bit more what we're about. But tonight, we're just here to deliver value, ultimately, not sell you any more of the tickets for that event or anything like that. It's just to be, of help to you guys in the community. I actually surveyed, Matt, I surveyed, 9,000 of you in the Facebook group. And the results that we got back was that 7 out of 10 actors are really struggling with their mental health and their mindset right now. And the 3 out of the 10 who aren't still know that they can do so much better than they're doing. They've got so much more potential, than they're maybe, sort of either realizing or fulfilling right now. And there's still a quarter of the year left. I'm just going to dive into the comments, Matt. But what did you take from the training? What was your biggest takeaway, Matt, from the training on Saturday? Obviously we communicated with 300 actors on the training on Saturday. And obviously, what do you want to say about it being the final quarter of the year? Because I love this time of year.
Yeah. And I think for me, one of the biggest things about the training, which you've just highlighted there, is this is useful for absolutely everybody, and everybody might be at different stages with regards to their acting career or with regards to their general mindset and well-being, but it doesn't matter. And this is something for me that's, really important, is when it comes to working on personal development, when it comes to working on your mindset. We've used this analogy a lot, but it's very similar to working on your physical health. Like if you was to say about, for example, working out in the gym, oh, I'm all right, mate, I don't need to do leg press or bicep curl, did that 3 years ago. It's kind of like, you would sound stupid, right? Because we know when it comes to working on your physical health, this is something you have to commit to doing week in, week out consistently. And it's exactly the same with, your mindset, with your mental health. It's about consistently committing to get surrounded by people that can help you, be on live calls like this and take these opportunities when they are there and consistently work at it. Now, that's not to say you've got to be perfect all the bloody time and be superhuman like some of these gurus make you think. And we've spoke about this a lot, Ross. It's for us, we hate that kind of coaching, this whole, be 1% better every single day, 7 days a week and hustle to your eyeballs.
We really hate. Do something that scares you every day. No, I would recommend, if you want to live a sort of a focused life where you are not on an emotional roller coaster, but you're actually very productive each day and you work towards your goals step by step. Don't do something every day that scares you, because it's just going to flood your body with cortisol, and then you're going to procrastinate. You're not going to end up doing that thing because you don't want to do it. It's just like these cliched little twee things that you see on Instagram, and it's nonsense. Actually, everything that me and Matt are about It's coaching real human beings, not robots, not people who, just sort of like are pushed to do stuff that they really don't want to do. We push you to do the things that we know, will make you feel good and that you probably will want to do. And we've both been coached by people who go the other way, and we realize that really doesn't work. The people in the gym, Matt, I remember I was coached by a personal trainer once. And really all I need in the gym, and this is what I try and do as a coach for the people, whether it's around mindset, the business of acting, all this sort of stuff, is kind of really work on their belief in their own potential. That's what a lot of our training is about. So when I go into the gym, I just need somebody basically to say, listen, mate, last week, you bench press 60 key. We're going to go for 65 this week. You've probably got it in you. We know you can do it. I'm going to be here for you. Come on, they'll pump you up. They'll be like, listen, I'm not going to touch the bar until it starts coming down. Like, you've got this. You know you can do it. Come on, they'll pump you up. And then I've worked with trainers, and then I'll generally be able to lift that because I'm in a positive frame of mind. And then you work with the trainers like, oh my God, come on, you fucking pussy. You can't even lift that up. Oh my God, you're a disgrace. And I'm like, whoa, this does not work for me. And you get mindset coaches who are like that as well. If you're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're not, waking up without an alarm clock, my passion wakes me up. If you're not going to bed at the end of the day, practically dead, you're a loser. I hate that.
It's bullshit. It's absolute. Like, who wakes up with passion 7 days a week?
At 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nobody. Like, you've just come out of a coma. Like, when we're asleep, you're literally in a coma. Nobody goes, oh, I'm awake, let's go, I'm so happy to be alive. Like, it's just not practical. And for me and Ross, it's all about like getting rid of all that BS. It's about getting practical, realistic with it. And like you say there, it's about, you've got to push yourself. You've got to do things sometimes out your comfort zone, but it's about encouraging, and it's about actually being able to live a fulfilling, wholesome, sustainable life. Because I did it for 18 months. I did 18 months of a coach screaming at me at 5 a.m. on a Sunday, every day of the week. And guess what, guys? It works. I got success. I earned more money than I've ever done. I got into the best shape of my life. I ended up doing a bodybuilding competition and getting a Brit finalist award in that. So I achieved success. Guess what else I also achieved? A near mental bloody breakdown, exhaustion, burnout. Like, so was it worth it? No. But I mean, it was for me personally, in the sense of I learned so much about what not to do. And finding your own levels. And I hope now that what that experience has given me is kind of a much better approach when I work with clients myself, because that is not sustainable. And I think sustainability is important. You also said there, Ross, about this time of year, and I know we both get giddy about this subject, but for me, I know a lot of actors in particular right now will be seeing this as like, oh, it's getting darker, it's getting colder, the year's nearly done. And I guess it's societal as well. It's not just the acting industry. People start to get into that frame of mind of unwinding and switching off. Now we're in October and kind of thinking, I'll just do it all again. New year, new me when we get to January. And I just want to say, if that is you right now, if you can flip that mindset, you got to think, I believe it was yesterday, there's 90 days left of 2022. So that's 90 days. When I work with clients, I like to break things down, chunk goals down into manageable 30-day kind of sections. So 30, 60, 90. If you're thinking like that, think what you can actually achieve for the rest of this year. If you're getting laser sharp focus on what do I want to get out of the next 90 days, there's so much more you can achieve, and you can finish this year on a real strong high, feeling like, wow. So this is not the time to be defeated, guys. This is not the time to be demotivated. If anything, this is the best time of year to get ahead.
Without a doubt. I'm just reading some of the comments as well. Kerry, I know you're joining us for the full Bulletproof Actor weekend, so it'll be amazing to see you there. But she said, she once had an agent who literally told us that they were shit unless they were getting up before the crack of the sparrow's arse. She said she used to say, like, how much do you want it if you can't even get out of bed at 6 a.m.? And she nearly gave me a bloody breakdown. You've got to listen to your body. Some people need genuinely the 8 hours sleep or the 9 hours sleep. Like, it's not about necessarily what time you're getting up and when you're going to bed. It's about what you're doing while you're awake, and that's the main thing. You're spending 3 hours on Instagram watching cat videos because you're procrastinating. You knew you should have been sending your show reel out, or you should have been editing a show reel, or writing emails, or doing something for your career. But actually, you went down the rabbit hole, and before you know it, you've wasted half a day, on social media, feeling shit about yourself. So, Kerry, I'm sure you're probably not with that agent anymore. Sarah says this isn't even just for actors; it's just as important for life. Really, completely agree with that as well. And Terry said, I realized that we won't be able to cover it here, but on the weekend course, I'd love to learn some strategies on how to keep up. Oh, we are covering this. He said, how to keep up my motivation when pain from a chronic illness flares up. We can definitely cover that Terry, 100%. Because we're diving quite heavily into motivation on the full Bulletproof Actor program, Matt. Yeah. What tips would you just have for somebody now? Let's cover it a little bit. Start getting your questions in, guys. Whatever you're struggling with right now, whatever you think is getting in your way of taking action. Maybe you are procrastinating. Maybe you've got limiting beliefs around anything to do with the industry. It's too hard. Agents, your age, your talent, your looks, whatever, anything like that. Anything at all where you think, you know what, I'm probably just getting in my own way here, and if I could just get rid of this, this one stumbling block mentally, I could have a much more, successful time. Let us know in the chat what that is, and we'll just talk. We'll just freestyle now on all this sort of stuff. So first of all, motivation, Matt. When you're coaching clients on motivation, and particularly if it is sort of like health related, I know, obviously I'm visually impaired, so sometimes my eyes can really piss me off when I'll fall over one too many wet floor signs that day, or like, I'm just like, oh God, I fucked up that take on set today because I bumped into something, I didn't hit my mark. Something went wrong, basically. And it's sort of almost kind of like, God, it feels out of your control because it's a disability ultimately that, you didn't earn. You just were born with and you were kind of given. So I can talk about my take on that stuff in a minute, Terry. But what sort of stuff would you do generally around motivation, Matt?
So Terry, for me, it's Terry that asked the question. Is that right, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Yeah. Okay.
Terry Jade,
for me, yeah. And thank you for asking the question. For me, I think the first thing you've got to look at is realistic goals. And that kind of phrase of like comparison is the thief of all joy. So if you're consistently looking at other people and going, well, they're motivated and they're energetic and they're crushing it, they're killing it, who cares? They've got nothing to do with your life. And I've done this myself, and I see this time and time again, that actually the biggest thing that is affecting motivation levels is always looking at everybody else. And they're either looking at other people doing worse than them going, haha, well, at least I'm better than them. Or they're looking at people doing better going, oh, sod off. We can't all be like you, Mr. Motivator, or whatever, and just generally looking at other people with a negative kind of approach. So the first thing that I would say is get rid of comparison. You are on your own journey and focus on your own goals. With that, I think something that's super useful when it comes to setting the goals. Personally, I've gone down this kind of school of thinking. A lot of you may or may not be familiar with a guy called Grant Cardone, and he has a book called The 10X Rule. Now, I've explored this 10X Rule before, and ultimately what it's talking about is take your initial goals and times them by 10. So if you've got a certain amount of money you want to earn, times it by 10, that should be a goal. If you've got a certain goal within the acting industry, go 10 times bigger. Now, I get why this is super useful, because it's going to push you to think bigger, and if you think bigger, chances are you're going to act bigger. What I've found in reality is more often than not, it's just super overwhelming, it's unrealistic, and all that does is demotivate you. So for me, by all means, have a little bit of time kind of daydreaming about how big things can get, and know that that is a reality and that is a possibility, but then root it in reality and chunk it down. Maybe 3-month goals, like I say, 30, 60, 90 days. Maybe even 7-day goals. And I think the more specific you can be with your goals and kind of more, just more kind of close to where you are today, i.e. what I'm trying to say is not 10 years from now, 5 years from now. If you can go more like this week, this 24 hours, the less overwhelming it is, the more manageable and realistic it is, and therefore the more motivated you're naturally going to be. So I think that's kind of the first thing I want to cover about motivation is make sure your goals are yours. It's nothing about comparing to anyone else. Make sure they're realistic, make sure they're time bound, make sure they're specific. The second thing I would look at is there's a great exercise we're going to do on the Bulletproof Actor course, which is 7 levels deep. And without going into great depth, it's about recognizing, why do you truly want this goal? And importantly, do you truly want it?
And what do you want within it? Not a general, I want an acting career. What specifically do you want? And then why do you want it? And then why is that important? And then why that is important? And then you'll go down this rabbit hole and you'll start breaking through these surface level bullshit answers you give yourself. Like, I want to be an actor because I just want to tell stories. No, you don't. When you've had 25 rejections and you've got no money in the bank, is telling yourself in bed in the morning, get up, Terry, because you just want to tell stories. Is that going to get you out of bed? Is it? No, it's not. So sorry, Matt. I just dived
No, you're
in
spot on. And I think the important thing of why we do this is because as human beings, we're very much led by emotion. That is how we're hardwired to be. Emotions drive often a lot of our action. And we're not generally logical. We've got two sides to the brain. The left side of the brain is the bit that focuses on logic. And roughly, we can only ever at one given moment deal with 9 pieces of information that are logical. But when it comes to the emotional side, they say statistically it's roughly around 3,000 plus. So you've got 9 pieces of information you can take in, 9 pieces of logic versus in that same moment, 3,000 plus bits of information that we deal with emotionally. Can be millions. And what that tells us is we're very much led by emotion. And what we do as humans is we try and back the emotion up with logic, i.e., you didn't send those 5, 10 emails that you're going to send to casting directors. That was because emotionally you was tired or maybe demotivated. You just couldn't be bothered. But then logically, you'll try and back that up and go, yeah, well, actually, like I've had a long week. I've done enough this week. So
my computer's playing up. My computer. I get this. I'll put actors on the spot sometimes, right? Because they'll say to me, oh, nothing's happened. I'm just not getting anywhere. I go, right. Who have you reached out to recently? And what did you send them? Get in your sent items now. Open your email up in front of me. Give me your phone. Let me see in your sent box. What tell me, show me the casting notices. They cannot. Oh, my email's playing up. Oh, it's deleted it all. No, it's not. You've not done it. You haven't done any of it. That's it. Because emotionally you're overwhelmed and you backed it up logically by going, oh, you know what? Like I hate this. It's a Monday. No one opens emails on a Monday. Bullshit. Someone I know in this very community sent an email to a very established casting director last Monday afternoon at 12:30. By 1:30, she had a cell-tape request through and an NDA to sign for what can only be a massive, I can't say it's NDA'd, Amazon Prime series on a Monday, just a Monday afternoon. Like, but you wanted to back that up logically. No, actually, it was a good job I didn't send me emails today because it's a Monday. No one answers emails on a Monday. I've been on email all day myself.
And that's the thing you've got to come back to. So remember that we're led by emotion, and often we will then try and back up our decisions we made with emotion with logic. I always say when emotion is high, logic is low. So like we'll know, like if you've been really angry and a rage, you will do things that are not logical. It's the same with if you're really sad, you may do things that are not logical. And it's only afterwards when your emotions are kind of a little calmer, you go, why did I do that? That was stupid. Yeah. So remember, we're very much, and this is normal, by the way, it's not an issue. It's about understanding it and then making better decisions once you have the self-awareness. So we're led by emotion. So why we say you need to really, truly understand on a deep level your reasons why you want to achieve that goal is so that you can tap into the emotion again on a deep level as to why you should take action versus the emotion of being demotivated. And that's the key for that point to part 2. And the third thing that I would just sort of add on to that is, who are you spending most of your time with? Like, who are you around? Now, remember what I said on the sort of first point. It's not about comparing yourself to the people you're around, but it's about making sure you're around people that encourage you, that support you, and that maybe inspire you to keep going and keep motivated on the days you're not. The communities you're around, the friends you're around, the partner, your family, if you've got a coach, if you've got a mentor, those are so important. And it's not just physical people. Who are you following online? I mean, they are still physical people, but they might not be physically in front of you. But like, who are you following on Instagram? Who are you following on Facebook? And how do they affect your motivation levels? That's kind of the third thing I'd say. But like we say, we're going to dive way deeper. That's just a little snapshot into a few ideas around motivation. But Ross, you were saying there about like with your specific experience. What is it for you?
So for me, well, I've got a degenerative eye condition. So for me, my eyes aren't going to be like they are now forever. And like, it's very, the future is uncertain. And I spent years, Terry, wasting hours, days, weeks of my life worrying about this imagined future in the future that I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be, what if my eyes get so bad where I just can't do any telly, or what if I can't use the computer, or what, all this negative stacking, blah, 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 blah. And then what's happened is years have gone by and I've tried so hard, like in the past to do this. Now I've just, it doesn't even register with me anymore. But what would happen is I would maybe like worry what my eyes going to be like this time next year. And then this time next year it'd be here. Like I would get to that point and go, oh, it's okay. I just wasted a year worrying about it. So, and I'd do that for years and years and years and years and years. So on one hand, you sort of like have to let go of control. So I'm like, look, what will be, will be. So if you're going to get a flare up, you're going to get a flare up. There's probably not too much you can kind of do about it. And then on the other hand for me as well is, there's a lot of people with my condition that are in a way worse place, Terry. And that'll probably be for anyone living with a disability. Like you may, if you're very lucky, have it better than a lot of other people have it, and that's certainly the case for me. So I started doing things, knowing almost sort of like for the people who can't. I know that sounds a bit twee, but I'm like, you know what? There's people who with my condition that's way worse, who would freaking give anything to be in my position where they can still do what I can do. So it's almost an insult for them, for me not to be motivated, Terry, because I'm like, fuck, they would give anything to have the vision left that I have. Yeah. And it's almost a kick in the face for them where I'm like, well, I'm going to be demotivated today. Well, why? Because you have the opportunity that they don't. So it's kind of perspective shifts like that as well, and paradigm shifts. And one other thing that we're going to cover on the course, Matt.
And it's gratitude, isn't it? It's gratitude.
Yeah, exactly. That at its most basic. Yeah, definitely. It's being grateful for what you can do and just going, you know what? Like maybe it's probably a bit idealistic, but part of me goes, you know what, maybe I was dealt with this because I can deal with it. Like I got this because I can handle it. Maybe if someone else was going to get it, they couldn't deal with this, they were not as emotionally tough or whatever. So actually, you know what, I'll handle this, I'll take it on, I'll push through it, and let's just see what happens. There's really no point in kind of worrying about it. But one thing that we're going to cover in the program that I also just want to mention here, and this is helping a lot of people with some of the questions they've got here as well around seeing everybody else working as an actor but not me or whatever. And we're going to dive really deep on actually, what people are identifying as when it comes to being an actor. Like, what is being an actor for you? Because if being an actor for you is simply, I'm only an actor in post-production on someone's telly in the corner of a room, you're going to be so fucked up for most of your life. It's far healthier to look at what else is an actor, and then setting goals that are, and we're going to talk about this, that are output-based, not outcome-based. So most people's goals are all outcome. I want to be in Coronation Street. That's the outcome. Well, until I've got that outcome, I'm going to be really miserable. As opposed to an output goal that you can absolutely have complete control over, which is this week. And I noticed Josh has mentioned this in here. He's got new headshots now and a new show reel and sort of stuff. This week, I'm actually going to introduce myself to 5 casting directors who have never met me before, or I've never had the opportunity to be in front of. I might have written to them, but they've still never seen me. I'm going to hit up 5 new casting directors this week who are yet to see me with my new reel and my new headshots. It's an output-based goal that you have complete control over. You can hit all 5. You will feel like you've accomplished something. You will feel, you're making progress, that it is good. And you will, be way happier than if your goals are all outcome-based. So it's what you identify as an actor. What's a more healthy identity as an actor, Matt? Not just, I'm only an actor when I'm on TV. Just give us some examples. We've spoken about this already a little bit. Privately.
Yeah. I'm somebody who creates work that I'm proud of. Like creating work, you're completely in control of creating something every single day. It doesn't need to be on Netflix. It doesn't need to be a certain casting director says you got the part. So an actor to you, be identifying as an actor could be, I'm somebody who takes pride in creating work on a regular basis and working on things that I believe in and that I'm passionate about. And there's all these other things where you could define as being an actor, not just I've been on Corrie. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, most of us feel a failure unless we're saying I've been on Corrie or I've been a regular on Corrie or whatever it may be. So this is and I think, again, we're kind of covering this surface level. If you really dive deep into this, you'll find that a lot of lacking confidence in your own ability, and we're talking about genuine, true confidence, it is all wrapped up in the identity you've created without probably realizing you've actually created it. And that's the quote unquote scary bit, is you probably don't even know you've done it, because it's years of conditioning. It's years of other people's opinions, other people's beliefs, limiting beliefs, influence that over time have created an identity that A, probably isn't true, and B, probably isn't very useful right now. So yeah, that is something we're going to go deep into, isn't it? On the
Bulletproof. And it's been created a lot by other people's uneducated expectations of what an actor is. So it's not their fault. They're not in the industry. So most people will come up to you and just go, "Oh, what do you do that? I'm an actor." "Oh, so what have you been in then? What have I seen you in?" And a lot of people feel completely invalidated, and their identity is completely false when people go, "Oh, well, I've not been anything yet," as opposed to having empowering answers around their own identity. Like, what have you, what have I seen you in? "Oh, well, nothing at the moment. I'm just getting established in TV. But this week I've been, I've just been in conversations with, I don't know, Daniel Edwards. He's the casting director for Line of Duty, or Andy Pryor, he cast Doctor Who. If you're doing your job behind the scenes, you'll still have loads of stuff to talk about that to that person who's not in the industry, super impressive. They're not going to be like, oh, well, you're a piece of shit because you can't say you've been in Corrie then, are you? When you're like, oh, they'll just be, oh my God, what? Doctor Who? Oh, it's amazing. Oh, Lana Ju. But if you're not doing the work behind the scenes, you've got nothing to say. That's why you feel
and guess what as well? Like for let's flip it and look at it from a casting director's perspective. If you're doing stuff that's outside of the box and you're doing stuff that's different and you're not just another actor saying the same as everybody else, remember that casting directors are human beings. They're not aliens just put on this earth to cast like film and television. Like they're genuine people with genuine interests and variety and hobbies in their life. It's like if you've got something different to bring to the table and you're not just, well, my last credit was this and I'm hoping to do this, and it's just like the same as what everyone else is focusing on, you're going to stand out as a human being. And you've got to remember that about success in the acting industry. Ultimately, it's about humans impacting other humans, whether that be in the role, you want to emotionally move people, or whether that be making contact with casting directors, other actors, and so on. Let's just strip away for a second the focus on what you've been in and focus more on who you are as a person, what your strengths are and what your personality is, and connect with people on a real, genuine level.
Yeah, it's just one of the biggest things where I see actors literally like panic when they're asked, so what have you been in? It's like, and it's because, like I say, for them, it's like a twist of the knife and an invalidation based on an identity that they're honoring that was never actually meant to be their own. It's like, because,
yeah, absolutely. And ironically, it does the worst thing for getting a role or getting people to be attracted to you ultimately, because your body language changes, the way you hold yourself, how you start talking might be a bit more stammery and, well, I kind of sort of, and it's like you become less attractive as a person rather than focusing on who the bloody hell you are, regardless of what role you've just had, and focusing on how amazing you are. I know that sounds a bit like cringe, but you are in your own right amazing. Focus on that and just be authentically you.
Statistically, what do they say? Basically the odds of you being born were 400 trillion to 1. You won the biggest lottery in the entire world by being here. You're not a piece of shit in a waste of space. Yet people walk around having won that lottery going, I'm rubbish, I'm pointless. Yeah. No, I'm not worth anything. What? You won the biggest lottery you could ever possibly win, and you've got more chance of winning the Euro Million, something like 14 times on the bounce, than actually of being born.
Being alive. Yeah. And also on the flip side as well, people also start really putting on a pedestal, getting roles. So it's like, oh, I am amazing because I got this role in Corrie. And then it's kind of like this horrible position where mentally you're focusing on these external fake wins and you're putting like your value system, if you see what I mean, is all wrong. You only feel successful when you get a job, or that you're only going to hang around with those people because they're the in crowd that are getting work, or I'm going to send flowers to Roland Beckley because he's the man that can get me work, or Face Diaring. We're prioritizing things wrong. Like that's not the end goal. Isn't to have more TV credits than the next woman or man. Like how damaging when we bring it back. I think one lady put in the comments about, this stuff being for life, not just the acting career. When you look at living a wholesome, happy, fulfilling, meaningful, passionate life, how damaging is it when you only are happy when you get roles, or you only want to be seen with people who get roles? I'm not saying everybody's doing this, but I think on some level, we all, people who know my story know I was an actor for over a decade. Like we all can easily get into that mindset, and it's so toxic.
Yeah, definitely. And people walk around with the mindset of I'm only as good as my last job. And like, and if they're not working or they're not worked for a year, oh, well, that's it again. Like, I'm
my last job. My last job was, I think 2008 was my last job. So, I mean, I would be super depressed.
You are out. Matt is no longer an actor, by the way. He's not been trying since 2008 to get a job. Yeah, he has been touring for the last decade in a band, and he's now a mindset coach professionally for the last 6 years. He's not just been trying to get...
I would be such a loser.
Trying to get work since
in my head, I mean.
2008. In my head. Yeah. Not in reality. Right. So we hopefully have answered quite a few comments there and stuff like that. There's some stuff there we spoke about that's relevant to everything. But let's have a look. So other questions. So Josh, what have you put here? So he says, so I've just got a new edited show reel, new headshots, which I'm starting to send out. Sent out my day player scenes of serial dramas, chatting to my agent because I've had a lack of auditions. I'm doing 2 shows this month, including rehearsals, and I'm prepping for my role in a feature film in November. And I'm still giving myself a hard time. And I struggle to give myself credit. And I don't know why. I think I'm too scared of doing nothing and that I'll go backwards in my career. Does that make sense? Yes. Because I also have felt like this over the years, and you might have in your own business, Matt. Particularly, I think it's when you are a CEO of your own business as an actor, which you are. And obviously, I run a couple of businesses. Matt runs multiple businesses. You can almost, Matt, I have felt guilty for watching a series on an episode of anything on Netflix. So, oh no, I should be, if I'm going to watch anything. So I remember like back in the day, I'd be like, I'm going to watch anything. I have to just watch some videos on like something educational. So I'm still improving myself even when I'm having 30 minutes off. If you can give yourself a real hard time if you're not careful. Again, I've got loads of thoughts on this of how I got over it. But what would you say for people who are just like, right, I'm doing all this stuff, but I still don't feel enough?
So for me, this is speaking as somebody who in the last week has been very busy with work, but also managed to do 9 episodes of the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix program that's on. I'm hooked. I'm completely gripped. It's the most horrific, horrible, but super gripping show I've ever watched. I would say it's about reprioritizing your value system. What do I mean by that? For me, if I reflect on when I was like 17, 18, I was so ambitious. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be an actor, wanted to be a writer, wanted to be a director, wanted to have multiple businesses, wanted to be in the best shape of my life, like all completely and utterly unrealistic. Why did I want all that? So I think what you've got to come back to, and as I've reflected on everything I've learned over the years, is ultimately I'm searching for a feeling of fulfillment. And I have a podcast where every guest that comes on, the last question, Ross knows because he's been on it multiple times, is what's your definition of success? And so obviously I've heard a lot of answers and I've reflected a lot on my own definition. And what I've found, there's kind of 2 words that come to mind for me. And this is my definition of what being successful is. It's internal calmness and fulfillment. They're the 2 words. If I feel internally at peace and calm with who I am, and I feel fulfilled in the life I'm living, I'm successful. Notice I didn't say when that book gets published or when I get that TV role or, when I've done 10 series of something. It's about internal peace and calmness, and it's about fulfillment. Now, I think that's where most of us are going wrong. When we feel like it's still not enough, I need to do more. We're focusing on the goal is to be the busiest, most sought after person.
People wear busyness as a badge of like honor. When people love telling me more than anything when I meet it. So I was saying, oh my God, I'm just so busy right now. It's mental. I almost sort of like that's a really good thing. And then the next breath, they're like, I'm burnt out and I feel like shit. And then they start opening up and being a bit more vulnerable.
Right. So you just said there, feel like shit. And I think that's my point. Rather than focusing on what you've done, let's focus on how do you want to feel?
Yeah.
That's the bit. How do you want to feel? If you was to paint this idealistic life, this perfect day, this perfect week, don't focus on what you do. Focus on the feelings, the emotions you want. And for me, I want to feel fulfilled. And I want to feel at ease. I want to feel at peace within my own skin with who I am. Now, if you start to put that as like the North Star, that's what we're aiming at. We're aiming for fulfillment.
Isn't it funny? Just hold that thought as well. Don't go off this track because I know sometimes if I butt in, you'll like because people do it to me and I think, oh God, I had a really good point and then I miss it.
I've got it. Just say it quick. Say it quick.
Yeah, but what? Because this is really interesting. What you've reminded me of there is when you speak about people about ultimate success. Really, they dream of, and everybody does this when they go on holiday. They take the pictures of the serene beach, lay on the beach by the water, sipping a cocktail or a coconut thing that's fresh with a straw in an actual coconut and drinking the coconut water or whatever. And it's like paradise, they call it. Well, if that's paradise and it's all gentle and serene and that inner calm, why is what you're actually pursuing chaos and you're wearing chaos as pride? It's almost like if the end goal is really, it's not even the acting career or whatever. It's like, so basically, I just want to live on a beach. That's really the end goal. If the end goal is calmness, why are you not aiming for that now? because you can have it well earlier than waiting to end up being on a beach in Marbella, like, or the Maldives or wherever you want to be. Like, it's funny that juxtaposition.
That happiness is a destination. Happiness is a destination, isn't it? People are always placing happiness on somewhere where they're not. And I heard a great quote. I think it was Stephen Bartlett. Like, it was something along the lines of, if you put in your happiness somewhere else, you'll never be able to have it where you are right now. And I think that's part of the problem with it. People are always, they've got this idealistic expectation of, when I do this, when I get there, everything will be great. What we've got to look at is go more within and focus on, like I say, get clarity on what it is you want to feel, and then think, am I filling my days with things that enable me to feel that emotion? If you're filling it with things that enable you to just feel stressed, overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted, then you're not successful. And I think if you change the metric at which you define success, i.e., not the person in the most TV shows and so on, not the busiest person in the room, and focus on something like I do, which is what brings me most fulfillment and what makes me feel most at peace and calm, you suddenly start to value different things. Then you change your actions and you change how you feel. So I think that's what I would say to Alex.
Josh.
I would say maybe, sorry, Josh. I would say, apologies. I'd say it to Alex as well,
and
if you
Alex.
want this. I would say to Josh, just reevaluate. Why are you doing what you're doing? And ultimately, how do you want to feel? And is what you're doing aligned with those emotions?
Yeah, and also value, and this was forced upon me, value actually the real positive outcomes that rest can have on you. So I used to go to the gym every single day, literally Monday to Friday, and I would run a half marathon on a Sunday. So I would be working my body really hard 6 days of the week. I'd have a Sunday where I'd run, I'd do no resistance training, but every day I would be doing something. And then I'm not going to say it on air because I don't know if Facebook still punishes the algorithm when you mention that thing we all went through 2 years ago. But I got that thing and I was forced to spend 11 days in bed. Like, it hit me really hard, even though I'd had all of the stuff you were supposed to have. I won't say what, I'm not going to say this, but you know what I mean. I'd had all that. I was forced to take 11 days off. Now, in my head, I was worried. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to undo all my strength in the gym. When I get back to the gym, it's going to be really, really hard. I'm not going to be able to lift as much. I was just getting to the point where I could lift more than I could ever lift before in my life. And I went back into the gym 2 weeks later, and I picked up not only exactly where I left off on my 1 rep max, but 1.25 kilograms heavier, which is not a lot, but I thought I'd have lost all the strength. And I went, oh my God, I've rested my body so much that it's actually had time to repair. And I can now, I'm not just as strong. I mean, it's not hurting. I'm fully like, I'm ready to go. And I thought, oh my God, I should do this in my life. So
well, I mean, you've just reminded me of really, I started studying some of this a little bit and sort of dipped my toe in and out. But really, when the biggest change happens for me, I remember it was January 2015. And because I was gigging in my band, like December is always the crazy busy time for anybody who's in a band, because that's when there's Christmas parties, there's events. So that's when you're super busy. So I've been super busy with that. And actually, it was the same month that we did the Graham Norton show, and we'd like driven down to London at lastminute.com and done all that. And it just been this mental time. Up until that point, I'd not had a holiday in, I think it was 3 or 4 years. And the reason being is I was trying to be a successful actor. I wanted our band to be super successful, trying to be successful in business. All these things we're talking about just busy and feeling guilt about taking a step back. But I had this holiday booked for January with my girlfriend at the time. And I think it was 10 days in Mexico. And I remember sat on that beach and I first discovered podcasts that month when I was on that holiday. And I listened to one on the beach and then I listened to another. I think I listened to one on the plane, whatever. I can't remember. And I came back so clear, more clear-minded than I'd ever been, so focused, so refreshed that I actually went on to have one of my most successful years. Now, prior to that, as I say, I'd had 3 or 4 years not taking days off, just work, because I had a genuine fear that if I take a day off, the competition's going to outdo me. I'll miss that opportunity. Actually, working less, but when you do work, being the best version of you, super focused, is, I believe, way more powerful than just working all the time exhausted and burnt out, which is exactly what I was doing. So yeah, just to kind of reiterate your point, Ross, rest is actually a superpower to success, I believe.
Definitely. And sleep.
Which is the opposite of what a lot say.
Yeah, I tried to get by on 6 hours of sleep for 2 years, a couple of years ago. And honestly, it's only when I really started, I was in such a slump energy wise, Josh, that I went online. I thought I'm gonna get one of these. You know, you can get these like private blood tests. I thought it'll take ages to get at the GP. Gonna just get one, and they do everything for you, from like, you know, your vitamin D levels, your iron levels, as guys, your testosterone, all this sort of stuff. And it came back, my male hormone levels were all over the place. I had super high testosterone because I was working out every day, but I had very little what they call free testosterone as a guy, which was what was bioactively available for my body to actually use, because I had a really high level of this hormone called prolactin, and that's formed through cortisol and lack of sleep. So I was like, no wonder I'm feeling like shit. So I bought this thing called an Aura ring that you wear at night. You can wear it through the day if you want. I just put it on at night, and it measures everything: your heart rate, your temperature, your blood pressure, everything, and the quality of your sleep. And I started actually waking up in the morning and all of it monitoring what time I go to bed and what the quality of sleep was like. And it measures your deep sleep, your light sleep, your rapid eye movement sleep, everything, and really gave me like scientific insights into my sleep, and so you could get a really decent routine. And now every time, like now it knows when I should be going to bed, it'll text me and go, right, bedtime's approaching, all this sort of stuff, and to kind of keep you accountable. And sleep's a massive one as well if you're feeling burnt out or you're feeling overwhelmed. And just one last thing is, we go into in the main Bulletproof Actor program where we're coaching people in November. Little plug, bulletproofactor.com if you want to read all about it. We're going to go over something called the BPS model, which is about prioritizing and scheduling all of your tasks and things and your outcome-based goals. But it's also about scheduling rewards, Josh. So it's also about actually going, you have to take this time out and not feel guilty about it, because you will come back rejuvenated and stronger. I've had a girlfriend for the last year. I've been forced, not like at gunpoint, but like, I went from working every weekend to go, no, I need to work on my relationship. Like, you know, we really don't get to spend quality time with each other at the weekend. So I've been forced to go and do lovely things. And it's been amazing. It's been game changing, because I come back on a Monday night like this and I'm like, let's go. You know, I waved my girlfriend off today at 2:00 and I'm like, right, it's work time now. I've had my rest. We've had a really lovely time. And I'm coming back so much more motivated and, you know, and with vigor, because I haven't worked all weekend like I would have done over a year ago. And I'd have been feeling like shit right now.
Yeah.
So
I've had the same thing with sleep just recently. I've probably spent at least the last 4 to 5 years, which includes that 18-month period when I had a coach screaming at me to get up at 5 a.m. I've probably spent it sleep deprived. And what I was saying earlier about comparison being the thief of joy, I would see people get up at 5 a.m. doing these workouts, being motivated and energized all day and thinking, why can't I do that? So when my girlfriend Beth and I went on holiday recently, we decided, you know, we're not going to be partying, we're not going to be out super late, we're going to rest our bodies. We still had fun, like we're not like killjoys or anything, but we decided we're not setting an alarm every single night. We're going to, you know, it was beautiful, one of those hotel rooms where you got pure blackout, so you wouldn't know what time of day it is, and we're going to just like enable our bodies to rest. And I found that every single day our bodies got up at exactly the same time and needed 9 hours sleep. Now I've been living most of my life the last few years on 6 hours, and I just thought,
horrible.
Whoa, imagine. And I actually said this to some of the members in my group, the people I coach. And Gavin, one of the guys in there, was like, I'm just one of these people. I only need 6. My mum's the same. And he's a personal trainer. I said, imagine if I spend all my time looking at you thinking I need to be more like Gavin, when I naturally need 8 to 9 hours and he's great on 6. It's a total false kind of metric to decide whether I'm good or not. And I have done that before. So I think, test your sleep, find what you need. And again, don't be comparing to anyone else. Do what's right for you and your body and your mind.
Definitely. Yeah. And honestly, it's fascinating looking scientifically. If you know, they cost a bit of money. I think it's about 80 quid, but I got like that blood test done. And when you dive into going, oh, hang on a minute, I can now see I'm deficient in whatever. That's cause, generally they'll give you the cause or the most common causes for that, and then you can actually take action on that specific thing, and you will fix a lot of problems, as opposed to just thinking, oh, that I'm broken, there's something wrong with me, I should be getting up like Gavin and 6 hours 6 hours sleep. Maya, I just want to say thank you so much for the Pokemon cards. I've not had a chance to say thank you, I've not seen you, but for my birthday Maya sent me some Pokemon cards. It's brilliant. Thank you so much. Honestly, it really means the world. And for anybody who sent me anything, like, thank you so much. If I've not had a chance to say thank you for that, if I've not seen you, really, really appreciate it. The big 4-0. Now I'm getting older. That's another reason I'm looking after myself, definitely. And Josh is there. Oh my God, that's literally my fear. If I take time off, everyone will jump ahead and I miss opportunities. It's just not the case, Josh. As long as you are working hard consistently, you know, like, and you want a couple of days off here and there. If you have a month off, you know, then I wouldn't recommend that unless it's for a real reason where you go, actually, you know what, I'm going to have a month traveling and I'm going to enhance my life that way, you know, or I've just got married and I'm going to go honeymoon for 3 weeks. Brilliant. Like, that's not bad. If it's, I'm going to lie in bed and feel sorry for myself for a month, that's probably not a good, you know, a good use of your time. But don't feel bad about living your life. It's what you are here for. There is more to life than this industry. Like, there really is. And everything you do in your life taps into the industry anyway, because it's going to, you know, help you grow as a person if it's positive or negative. And it's emotional, you know, richness you can bring to your work. So nothing is wasted. When women say like, oh, I feel so out of it because I've just had a year maternity leave. I'm like, you just had like an incredible emotional experience you can bring to your work that I'll never get in the way that a mother would get. You know, you get it as a father or whatever, but it's an incredibly rich emotional experience that you can bring to a performance and an audition that is way more authentic than, you know, so that's something that somebody could, you know, just make up or pretend. So it's not a waste. Every experience you have in your life, good or bad, is a really, really positive influence potentially on your career, depending on your paradigm shift, the way you are looking at, you know, at that thing. We've got time for a few more questions. This is flying by tonight. Let me know if you've got any other question, anything to do with mindset. For those people who are just joining now, we're talking with high performance coach and world record breaker, Mr. Matt Hall. Me and Matt are doing a full, massive weekend training at the end of November for any actor who ultimately is sort of struggling with self-confidence right now, maybe deals with procrastination and can't break through it, is anxious or suffers from anxiety, both in and out of their career, suffers with, motivation, lack of. Ultimately, we're really diving deep on the science and giving real actionable, implementable strategies that are scientifically proven. High performance principles that will really take your life and your career to the next level if you implement them. That's the thing, you know, we can take everybody through this, but like we were saying before, Matt, when we went live in the Facebook group, it's not about just information, guys. This program, if you're going to get involved in it, for those people who might just be seeing this for the first time, I'll just bring the webpage up again. This is for people who really want to take action on it, because information, we were saying before, is not enough. You can know all of this stuff, but if you're not actually going to implement it, nothing will change. But to help you with that, you know, we've got a big sort of package of bonuses that you'll get for anyone who gets a ticket to this event. You can read about them on bulletprooffactor.com. There's Oscar winner Rachel Shenton. She did the program back in 2015. Hadn't won an Oscar at that point, but sorted a mindset out and went on to win one. You can listen to her story on there. 520 quid for the bonuses for anybody who gets a place on the program, bulletprooffactor.com. But we're also doing like aftercare, so it's basically 30 days, over 4 weeks of Facebook group access for a secret Facebook group just for people who are going on this program. Matt's going to be hosting a WhatsApp accountability group. So you're literally going to be in that, getting voice notes from Matt on a regular basis. You're going to be made to hold yourself accountable to the group. So you will be literally voice noting, back things that Matt will be asking you about, you know, your intentions for the week, your wins for the week, what you're doing. You're going to be sharing everything that you're doing with everyone else on the course. There's bonus podcasts. There's all kinds of stuff involved in this, as well, obviously, as the full lifetime recordings of this event. If you can't make the live dates, you can still get access to the full recordings of it if you get yourself a ticket. So bulletprooffactor.com for that. But tonight we're just answering any questions you want on mindset or any of the blocks that you might be facing. So we've got what have we got, Matt? We've got only 8 minutes left, but get some questions in. If you want us to help you with that tonight. And Sandra, not seen you in ages. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. She said, I waited so long for Bulletproof and now I can't do it because I've got shows in November. You can still get the full recordings, Sandra, if you get hold of the program now. We will be launching it again in 2023, but just to be transparent with people, and it's not a sales pitch, the program will be more than double the price that it is this time, just because this time we're rewarding actors who are teaching this course to live, because you're effectively helping us make the product. We're going to record the live sessions, and that's going to be the course moving forward. So to say thank you to the people who are actually going to be there live, or even just wants a ticket for this event. You don't have to be there live. You can just get a ticket now. don't turn up live if you don't want to, get access to full recordings, and you'll still end up with it cheaper than you would do if you bought it last year. But no pressure, it's all obviously,
And also, just to add to that, Ross, as well, even if you've got shows in November, but maybe have a little bit more time in December, what Ross was saying there about information alone not being like the important bit, it's the actual accountability and the support afterwards. So we're going to be having that in December.
Through December, yeah.
All through December, you're going to be in the WhatsApp group, you're going to be in the Facebook group, we're going to be doing live Q&As for people who have been through the course. So again, it could work really well if you just sign up, get the course, maybe don't do it with us live, but start catching up early December and just be immersed in the WhatsApp group and the accountability. And even if you don't complete the whole thing, if you've done the first few modules, the first two modules.
The first module will change your life.
But the first 1 and 2, either one of them, if you just do one of them, that both changed my life drastically. And every time I coach those, every time people hear it for the first time, they're like, oh my God, yes, this is so useful. Why didn't you teach me this 30 years earlier? So even if you just do one of those first 2 and join us in the WhatsApp group, I truly believe you'll get an awful lot of value.
Yeah, definitely. The whole point of it, the reason we're doing it this time of year, guys, this has been in my calendar to do this program at this time of year, specifically since last December, when me and Petch sat down to do the content schedule for the full year for us on this, is because the whole point was we designed it so you would get that accountability through December. We actually finished the accountability sessions on Christmas Eve. And then you go into Christmas really, hopefully, in the best mindset you've ever had. You enjoy an amazing Christmas and New Year, and you go into the new year knowing exactly what you are doing from the 4th of January, from literally the first day back. You're not waking up in a slumber and a hangover like most actors going, what do I do? Oh, I need a new agent. Oh, God, my show reel. So all this stuff. You are primed in what we call peak state in the world of positive psychology, and you're ready to go, and you will already have an action plan that exactly the first 3 steps you're going to take in January, so you can genuinely have that inner calmness over Christmas that Matt spoke about before, where there's not that little thing in the back of your head where you're like, oh God, I'm really enjoying myself, but shit, I'm just going to have one more wine to forget about it because I know I've not got my shit together for the new year, and oh my God, I've got to go to this shit job that I hate and all this sort of stuff. Which is really going to help you make 2023 the best year you've ever had, ultimately, if you get involved in this program. And you get lifetime access to it as well. So you can revisit it literally at any time in 3 years' time if you want. Those people who did Bulletproof Actor back in 2015, when I first launched it, if you go to bulletproofactor.com and log in, you will still see that original course in your members area. I will never take that off you. You paid for it. It is yours for life. It's the same with this as well. So someone drop any question in. Let's talk. Let's see if we can fit in one more question. If you're struggling with anything to do with your mindset, your psychology, your resilience, Before
we do that, Ross,
go on, Matt.
I'll talk about a subject of confidence, if you like. So we've not really covered it much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, the course is called Unstoppable Confidence. So let's go.
Yeah. So, and I know this maybe hasn't been asked, but I also know it's something that gets asked a lot. And I've just actually been talking about this on my live. There's a James Smith book, How to Be Confident. I was speaking about some of it in there. There's that concept that he speaks about, this fake it till you make it, which I'm sure we've all heard, especially as actors. Like, this is something I heard loads, when I was a child growing up. As actors, you've got to think we're always putting ourselves out there to be judged and to have critiques and have people say whether we're good or bad. It's always on other people. Naturally, we're going to be nervous if that's how we're living in this state, constantly looking for validation. So then that's where this kind of phrase, fake it till you make it, I think, has derived from for a lot of us. Now, I think fake it till you make it can be an extremely damaging, toxic thing to do. Why? Because ultimately it might help. And that's the first thing to say. It can be useful if you're nervous to just pretend you're not to some degree. But I think that's not cultivating true, genuine, authentic confidence, because it's by definition fake, and therefore it's not sustainable. It's not long lasting. So if that is you right now, that kind of feels like, yeah, I don't want to fake it. I want to genuinely, truly believe in myself on a deep level and have true confidence. I just want to touch on something there. I want you to think about confidence as being either made up of internal validation or external validation. Now, think about it as actors, as singers, as performers. We're always stuck in this rut of external.
Yeah.
If your
Applause,
agent,
applause, applause.
applause, always looking for that. If your agent rings and says, guess what? They want to see you. It's like, oh my God, I feel like the best actor in the world because somebody important has said yes. You do the audition. The director says, we love you. Will you come to the recall? Again, I'm amazing. External validation. You get the job. The director says, that was great today. Amazing. The show goes out on TV. It gets rave reviews, or you do your opening night. The audience are standing ovation. I'm amazing. The danger as actors is we're always putting confidence on external validation. And if we're always doing that, who's in control of it? Yep. It's not us. We're always putting our confidence on other people and they're in control of it. So my advice to anybody, if that's you and that resonates and you think, yeah, do you know what? I am a bit of a roller coaster. If an agent says something negative, a casting director says something negative, or I get a negative review, I do go down in the dumps. I do feel like I'm worthless, useless, talentless. And when I get complimented, I think I'm incredible. If that is you, this is a piece of advice I want to give you and suggest is, what we need to be working on consistently is building internal validation. How do we do that? Ultimately, we want to be doing, it's often very, very small things, but it's about daily. It's about when nobody else is watching, when nobody else knows what you're doing, right? Are you making the right choice? Now, it's not about doing it all the time. Again, it's about being realistic. But for example, if we bring it back to the acting industry, it's about going, ultimately, I think the best phrase is keeping your promises to yourself. That's what it's about. If you tell yourself, do you know what? I'm going to send those emails off. I'm going to get that show reel done. It's the same with anything, fitness. If you say, I'm going to do the 10K steps a day, I'm going to go to the gym. Remember what I said at the beginning, emotion and logic. Emotionally, quite often, you won't want to feel like doing what you said you was going to do. And we'll back it up with logic. Yeah, but this happened, that happened, and we'll make excuses. Remember this phrase, excuses sound best to the person who's making them. They'll sound amazing, those excuses, in the moment. You will more than likely live to regret it in the future. So what it's about when it comes to building internal validation is building up that discipline to do what you said you was going to do. Keep that promise to yourself. And it can be small things. Take the steps instead of taking the lift. It could be eating that healthy food rather than saying yes to the cupcake. It's sending those emails and so on. What you've got to think about is each day when I lie my head on the pillow at night, as I reflect on the day, how many votes have I totted up for internal validation? Because every time you say you're going to do something and you didn't, you now need an extra vote for external validation. Now, just imagine if in the next 6 months you committed to working on this, building those little small, tiny wins every day, doing the right thing, internal validation. You're going to need external validation way less. Now imagine how much more you're going to have authentic confidence. And importantly, how attractive is that to casting directors? How attractive is that to directors? Default position setting, if whatever, is you'll probably get more work. And it'll be earned from a standpoint of being self-assured and competent and confident in your ability, not faking it till you make it.
Exactly. Having evidence to back up that you are what you say you are to yourself. How shit do you feel sometimes when, because I've done this, we've probably all done this. You make a promise to yourself the night before, I'm getting up early tomorrow and I'm going to do this thing. And that's all going to be done by 11 o'clock. And then you end up getting up at 10:30. You haven't done that thing. 11 o'clock's gone. You start berating yourself. You loathe yourself because you didn't stick to what you said you were going to do. And if you're not careful, you can actually then just spiral and go, forget it. Today's done. I'm going to start again tomorrow. You've wasted an entire 24-hour period because you didn't keep your promises to yourself. So it's what you're doing in the acting industry and out of it when people are not looking, not necessarily just when they're watching you perform or do an audition or be on the telly or whatever it is. And it's those commitments. I've committed now to drinking only recently, because Petch has held me accountable for this. 3 liters of water a day, only doing it a week. It's making me feel miles better. 10,000 steps a day. I think I've gone 2 days where I've not been able to do it, but I've been super, super busy. But I'll go and run a 10K. I've only done about 7,000 steps today. I'll probably go and run a 10K on the treadmill in the gym downstairs after this, because I quite like doing that at night now sometimes. And when you do what you say you are going to do, and it can be nothing to do with acting, but you end up going, no, I'm a man of my word. I am legit. And that does then breed that internal confidence, because no one can then say that you're not, or you're a fraud, or this, that, and the other, because you're not. You're not. When someone says something to you, the only time you get defensive really is if it hits a nerve and you go, fuck, they might be right. If someone said to me, oh, Ross, you're a rip-off merchant, you're this, that, and the other, I'd be like, well, it literally has no impact on me whatsoever, because I
Yeah,
know I'm
totally.
absolutely not that thing. Whereas if they said something, I'm trying to think recently, things that I need to work on. Even you asked me before, have you done your 10,000 steps? And that hit a little, oh, and I went, Matt, oh no, I've done about 7,000 today. And that was great accountability, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to bed tonight, not as having stuck to what I committed to do. So if I'd committed to sending my show reel out this week to 5 people, I'm not ending the week not having done that. And that's that output goal again, not the outcome goal. I can control my output. I can control what I'm going to do. I can't control the result, but I can be happy knowing that I've done everything that I can do. Thus, I am fulfilled, and I have that inner calm that we've spoken about.
And it comes back to what I say there about self-awareness. That's what you've got there. You value how good you're going to feel and what it does to your overall confidence, your self-belief, by kind of honoring those promises you've made to yourself. And that's what all this is that we're teaching in Bulletproof, essentially. It's about being more aware, learning the tools, and understanding your own psychology, because when you become more self-aware, that's when you can work on genuine self-development. Whereas somebody else that doesn't know this, they might just think, oh, I said I was going to go for a run, but I'm not going to bother, because they don't truly understand. They're not aware of the consequences of saying no, of how that builds and builds and builds, how that means they now need more external validation. They're now going to speak to the friend and go, yeah, I didn't end up doing it, but you know what? I thought to myself, I've done this, I've done that, I'm good at it. And when they say it, they're actually wanting the friend to validate and say, yeah, you are. And this is, again, self-awareness equals self-development. So the question is, how much are you working on becoming more aware? And that's the important thing that we are going to be working on and are working on with people.
Absolutely. So yeah, I hope that's giving you some things to think about. Kelly said powerful words, Matt. I think they were referring to your the stuff you were saying there about internal validation and stuff. Josh says, boom, mic drop. Crikey, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, says Maya. I think you're probably talking about when I said, yeah, you've made a commitment to get up and you haven't got up. Let's have a look. Alex is just saying the same sort of stuff. And then they're talking about, oh yeah, The Slight Edge. That was that book that I always recommend, Jeff Olson, The Slight Edge. It's basically teaching you the compound effect and the massive impact the seemingly insignificant decisions you make on a daily basis can have on your life. People think the big decisions are the things that have the impact. So maybe twice a year. On average, I think human beings, we make 2 to 3 big decisions a year. They are generally things like the relationship you're in, where you live, and the job you have. Those 3 things are the big things that people value in their life. They're like, these are the most stressful things in the world. And to a certain extent, they absolutely are. But they're not the most important things. They're really not. Where you live, whether you have 8 bedrooms to tidy up or 2 bedrooms to tidy up, doesn't make it an impact generally on your happiness or where you're at in your acting career. It makes no difference at all. So the seemingly insignificant things on a daily basis do. You know, if you send a email to a casting director, a director, a writer, a producer, another actor, I don't know, some kind of outreach tomorrow, and you send one email out, it's not really going to have a big impact on your career necessarily. You might strike lucky, you might not. If you send one out on Tuesday as well, it's tomorrow, isn't it? Wednesday as well, might not have a big impact. Thursday and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday might not have a big impact. If you do that for 30 days, though, can have a fucking massive impact in your career, because most actors don't send anything out. You know, imagine like when you're setting goals, and we're going to cover this in the program, but when you're setting output goals, are you really know how to check in with yourself? Most people set goals for New Year's resolutions, and that's it. I want to earn more money this year. The worst sort of goal you could possibly set, because how can you measure that? I mean, here's a $5. There you go. You've achieved your goal. See you later. But they only check in with themselves the following year. And they go, I didn't do it. Oh, shit, I'll set the same goal again. So they keep setting the same goal year after year after year, and you might be that person. Imagine if they just checked in with themselves once a month. They'd have 12 times the chance of succeeding to say, am I still on track for that? If they checked in once a week, that's like 52 times the chance of succeeding at that goal. And it might be unrealistic, but you want to check in with yourself daily. You could up your chances of completing that goal 300 times. And that's a seemingly insignificant decision, to check in on yourself and go, where am I at? Are my actions aligned with what I want right now? Have I lacked there? Have I let myself off there? Did I make that excuse and then try and back it up with some logic that I know is bullshit, to make myself feel better about it? Checking in with yourself, those seemingly insignificant things that you do each day are the real things that have the impact. It's not those big things that you think have the impact. It's the small things you do on a daily basis. So that's The Slight Edge. That's a great book. You don't need to buy it now. I've just told you all about it, basically. So there we go. Gary, you're here a bit late, buddy. It's 10 o'clock, man. We're just finishing, but you can watch this on the replay. No problem. Matt, we are going to wrap it up. I'm just going to recap for people because, we've run over a little bit. But for those people who are just seeing this or you've skipped to the end or whatever, bulletproofactor.com to find out and get your ticket. Gary, I know you've got a ticket for this event. Thanks so much. Mary, I think you might have as well. I can't remember who here's got a ticket for this or not. But it's happening on the 26th and 27th of November. It's going to be a massive, massive, massive game changer for people to get involved when it comes to their mindset and their psychology around just, not even the acting industry, just life in itself and success in itself. 26th and 27th of November. Go to bulletproofactor.com now if you want to read all about it. You can watch video testimonials from people who've been through a similar program before. This is a bigger and better program than we've ever launched before. Being taught live, but you can get full recordings of it. There's over £500 worth of bonuses for people who sign up now. They're going to be available for a limited time. And if you go to bulletproofactor.com/replay, for a limited time, the replay of Saturday's training is going to be online for you. Go and watch it now if you're here live. You've still got time. Technically, it comes down in an hour and 51 minutes, but I'll speak to Matt and maybe we'll leave it up for a couple more days. But that's bulletproofactor.com/replay to get hold of that free training video where we walk you through a lot of this stuff as well. And then bulletproofactor.com to get your place for this event. But just hope it's been useful. Matt, are we going to do more of these? Do you think we should do some more before the event?
You know what? I think we can, because one thing we discussed after, obviously we're doing Bulletproof Factor, and that is something, as we've discussed, it's cost us tens of thousands to learn that. We've spent years and years studying that, and we're going to absolutely give you our blood, our sweat, our tears, our heart, our soul,
everything. It's our crusade to literally, I always say, to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Like,
and it's
genuinely
true. It might sound cheesy if you're hearing that, like, oh, come off it, Ross, with your cheesy quotes. I know.
Anyone who's worked with us before will know that's the case. Yeah, definitely.
But it is the case. And we're going to do that. Anybody that's signed up, I'm really excited to work with you, and well done for committing to yourself, because I know that takes courage. I know there might be feelings of, I'm not sure if this is the right time, or if it's too expensive, or if it's right for me. So I just want to commend you for taking that step. But we're also aware that, reality is not everybody can afford to do it right now, and not everybody's sure. So I think one commitment we've made is to try and help people as best as we can, whether or not they do the course. Now, there's only so much we can do for free, naturally, just based on how much time is available and other commitments. But I think definitely if people have found this useful, and they think maybe just listening to some of our experiences, asking questions, let's do another one at some point. 100%, I'm here if you think that's useful, and if the people comment, and do let us know in the comments as well.
Yeah,
if
just put a yes.
Valuable.
If it's been worthwhile this evening, if you're taking something away with you that you didn't have at the beginning, let us know, and we'll try and do some more of these on a Monday night. We might do a couple more before the actual event on the 26th and 27th. And Katie's asking what time it is. So Katie, we're really, don't get overwhelmed by this when I say it, because I know people will be like, oh my God, it's going to give me so much to take in. Remember, you're getting the recordings of everything. So, and we will be expecting people to go back and actually rewatch these modules as well. You'll be there with us while we're recording them all live. If you attend this time, it's the only time ever you'll be able to actually ask questions live as well. No future intake of this program will get the live aspects of it. That goes for the Facebook group and the WhatsApp accountability group with Matt. This will be a self-study course in the future, but those people who we are teaching it to live at this event, like, that's a bit of just a one-off, basically. You're helping us create the program by being there effectively and giving us an audience to teach this to. It is going to be 2 long days. We've said 10 till 6, but I think it might be 10 till 7, looking at how much we've got to get through. There will be, a few breaks. Not long breaks. They might be like, literally, we're having a 10-minute wee break, guys, and you might have to eat your sandwiches across a module, rather than having a proper hour for lunch or something like that. So it is going to be a pretty intense couple of days, but I promise you, if you attend, I guarantee you will walk away from that event a better person and a better actor. By far. You will have even people from Saturday's training, the emails we both had, Matt, from people on Saturday's training have been like, oh my God, again, like you said, why did I not learn this at school? Why have I not taught this sort of stuff 30, 40 years ago? I could have been so much further ahead than where I am. And remember, it's not about that. But today's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Yesterday, all those other days have gone. There's nothing you can do about that. You can rewrite your story moving forward, though, and genuinely, it's cheesy, but, make the rest of your life the best of your life. If you have 20 years left on this planet or 80 years, doesn't matter. What is it worth to you to live a happier, healthier, wealthier, more fulfilled life? Like, it's priceless, isn't it, really? So we just, really can't thank people enough for getting involved in this, really. Thank you, Maya. So thanks, Ross and Matt. And good to see everyone else this evening too. Technically, sort of not see, but kind of see. It's nice to see people's faces on here. When is the 247 offer running out? Didn't see a countdown on the side. So at the moment, Gary, we're just so the bonuses are the thing that's probably going to run out. The actual price of the tickets, I don't know. They're going to sell out before we have a chance to put the price up. We were thinking close to the event, the price might increase, but we're going to cap the tickets at around about 120. We want to teach a lot of people, but we don't want to. We still want to keep things manageable and to the point where we can really deliver value. So it's not really about numbers now. Obviously, we want to sell the programs to thousands of people in the future, but we're going to cap at around 120. We've got over 70 people signed up so far. So I'd imagine in the next couple of weeks, those places will go. Based on what I've done previously with other courses, I've ran like First TV or Fast Track. We generally sell out pretty quickly. But in terms of the price, mate, yeah, the 247 price, if you pay in one installment, that's what you get it for. And just let me tell you as well, the previous Bulletproof Actor program that I did in 2014 was £32 more than this one. So we are aware that
8 years ago, right?
8 years ago, we are aware that people are not financially in a brilliant place right now, because personally, I'm feeling it as well. My electricity bill is 3 times what it was. My business expenses have gone up massively, and I can't put any prices up. I'm not going to put your membership price up to act on this. I absolutely will not do that. I'm just absorbing costs and making less profit effectively. But yeah, this program is priced so appropriately. Like it's an abs. I can't tell you what a steal it is. And I'm happy to say that and on the record, because
we're proud to say that as well, aren't we? Because we know it's worth. We've paid so much more. We're just so excited to over deliver the value.
Yeah. Between us, we spent over £100,000 in the last 15 years on coaching ourselves, and some of that was a complete waste of money as well. Let me just tell you that. Yep. Other stuff was absolutely invaluable, but we are giving it you all for a fraction, like not even like, I don't know, 0.1% or whatever. But we are, I feel if I'm not selling this and ramming it down your throat, I'm doing you a massive disservice, purely because I've seen the lives that it's changed in the past. Go and watch the video of the testimonials on bulletproofactor.com. They're legit. There's an Oscar winner on there, talking about the program herself. Like, these are real people, not made up people. I put everyone's name on there, so you can even like look them up on Twitter and ask them if it's legit. So yeah, very, very proud to be able to offer it at that price, basically. So thank you, folks. Really appreciate you being here. Can't wait to see all you guys who have signed up to the program actually on it. It's going to be a really incredible weekend. Really looking forward to it, and we will do some of these free Q&As as well closer to the time. I'm going to play. Why don't I play? Should I play that video? I can play it.
I think it's brilliant. Yeah, I think it's great.
I just realised I'm on Zoom. I can play videos. It's not going to be great quality because we're actually streaming on Zoom, guys. But this is a video from, we'll stay on camera as well because we have to, because we're on Zoom, but this is a video of people who went through the first Bulletproof Actor program in between 2014 and 2018. That program's now retired, and this is version 2 that we're filming across this weekend of the 26th and 27th that you can get involved in. It's 3 times as big, and it's way more powerful than the original one, but this is the results from the original one. Let's play this.
Yeah, I think a standout moment in Bulletproof Actor for me was I was flying from London to LA to shoot season 4 of Switched at Birth, and it was a really quick turnaround. I think I landed on the Tuesday, started shooting on the Wednesday, and I was quite overwhelmed because I had lots of dialogue and I thought, well, I'm going to be tired and all those sort of anxieties that you get. And I was up to the section in Bulletproof Actor that was about limiting beliefs and rewriting your story.
I look so young there.
And I suddenly realised that all the things I was worried about was because I had limiting beliefs about time. And after reading that section, subsequently felt really confident, went on set and was really pleased with the work that I did. I don't think that would have happened had I not have read that section on the plane.
The main thing about the course is learning about yourself and what it is that's holding you back and what you can do to go forward and start winning in life.
I'm really glad that I decided to do Ross's Bulletproof Actor course. My mindset before was I thought, okay, and maybe I didn't really need to do the course, but as soon as I started to do the course, I realised that it wasn't that okay and it could be a lot better.
I'm much happier. I'm such a positive person.
It's Petch.
Bulletproof
Actor
has
Petch.
flipped everything on its head. I'm seeing success in my acting career. I'm seeing success in physicality, working out.
Rachel was about to get an Oscar. Hetch was about to work for you.
Yeah, they didn't know it at the time.
Than it was.
Bulletproof came into my life at exactly the right time. I committed to it, was open and honest with it, and it was just like a light bulb moment. I realised that all those times I'd done things before, I got anxious, I got worked up, and it just wasn't fun anymore. With Bulletproof, you take a completely different attitude. I mean, I can only talk from personal experience and say within, I think, probably 6 weeks after completion, I was offered auditions. I was up for one of the biggest casting agents in the UK and America. And since then, I've seen opportunities in places that I wouldn't even have dreamt of.
But I can honestly say it's the best course that I have ever done in my entire life. And in the last 6 months, I've had more success, more happiness than I've ever had in the 10 years of trying to make it as an actor.
Where with Ross and the like-minded people that were on the course, they were and are a fantastic support network. And let me just say, Ross goes above and beyond, especially when he's doing the conference calls, which for me I found hugely beneficial.
You got to speak directly to Ross. He could help you out with whatever issues you were having in the course, and it didn't just kind of help me with my acting, it was my whole life. It was everything, every aspect, and there were so many little tools in there that I can refer back to all the time, and just so many bits of information that were kind of almost mind-blowing. It so simple, but yeah, it's really kind of light bulb moments.
I think the biggest change for me has been that I now know that all the things that I worried about and felt anxious about were actually all in my mind. And knowing that, and knowing that all those fears weren't really true, I felt much more equipped to go ahead and smash it. And I'm convinced that that's why I had a really successful season 5, and hopefully we'll have more success in the future.
If someone was thinking about enrolling but not 100% sure, I'd say do it.
Go on, Petch.
I'd say just bite the bullet and do it. You're worth more than what you're living now. Like, what would it cost you not to enroll? Do you want a better life? Do you want to live on a higher plane? Do you want to be happier? Do you want more success in all areas of your life and not just acting? Because if you do, then this is the course. It's changed my life dramatically, and it can do the same for you.
It is the most fundamental life-changing programme. I would urge any actor, in fact anybody, to take on board the skills that you learn, practice them every day, and you will see results. You just have to be ready for the change. It is a massive change. It's an investment, but you've got to invest in yourself. If you're not prepared to do that, then you really will miss out. I would urge you to just engage with the programme. Do it. You only live once. You will see results, I promise you.
You know, as Ross says, you know, life happens for you, not to you. So yes, do it. It's a game changer. It will change your life.
I would say to anybody that's thinking of enrolling, do it, definitely. You know, in this business, it's so paramount that your mindset is right for auditions, and particularly if you want to gain consistency, good consistency in auditions, which we do, it's paramount that it's right, and it's helped me so much. There is no better investment than investing in yourself, particularly for actors. So I'd say yes, definitely, go and do it.
Boom. I love this little thing here. Boom. Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, version 2. Available now, folks. Bulletproofactor.com. So, yeah, if you really want to dive deep, get involved. Matt, any final words before we sign off? We've gone well over, but thanks for being here, mate.
Just thank you, everybody, for engaging. Thank you for the questions. As I say, I'm happy to do one again at some point, Ross, if you're good with that. So if people have found value, do let us know in the comments. And also just to say again, massive well done. We don't take it lightly. You know, you're investing hard-earned money into working with us. So everybody that has signed up, we appreciate you. Well done for taking that action, and get ready for a bloody awesome month with us, because we're going to go deep.
Yeah, it's not just that weekend. That's it. You're spending. You're not going to get away from us. You are spending a full month with us. So basically, November the 26th and 27th, and then all the way until Christmas Eve. So I can't wait for that final check-in or whatever we do on that final WhatsApp group or the Facebook group, the final live we do. I will get people as well. I always get them to do this when they join. The Facebook group for this program will open a week before the live event, and I get everybody to put a video themselves in there, like before they've been through the process. Saying what they want to get out of it. And the difference between the first video and the video they then put in after they've completed it is freaking amazing. Yeah. Like seeing these people who are really not in a good place and they're suddenly like, oh my God, like there is light again. Everything is good. It's like the Lego movie. Anyone seen the Lego movie where they play that song? Everything is awesome. It's just like that. Where like
just
life...
you that Ross.
Just me.
But also, you said about people being in a bad place. You get a lot of people when I've coached people as well. They're not necessarily not in a good place.
No, just know they can do better.
Just know they can do so much better. And again, that's super exciting to see as well, because we're really going to test your current beliefs about what you're capable of and about yourself ultimately. So I'm so excited. Ross and I have said it multiple times and we truly mean it. We know we're going to give so much value. It's not just a thing of it being a sales pitch. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to meet you all and work with you all. And I'm excited most of all to see that change and see that journey play out. So yeah, really excited to work with you. Big well done. Big thank you. We'll see you there. For those of you that maybe it's not right for, hopefully you can join us on the Q&A still if we do another one, and get ready with some questions as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'll keep everybody posted on when we'll do another. We'll definitely do another one of these before the event. Maybe two if we can squeeze them in on a Monday night. So thank you, folks. Have an amazing week. Don't forget, if you're a premium member of ActsOnThis.tv, I'm going to be live with Emmerdale actor Bradley Johnson, plays Vinnie Dingle in Emmerdale this coming Wednesday night. Our live call for premium members of ActsOnThis.tv is Wednesday night. Come and join us for that. If you can't be there, it will be recorded. We'll be in your members area on Thursday. Go to ActsOnThis.tv/live to get your membership for Acts on This, and you'll also see the schedule of calls. We've got some incredible casting directors coming up, great actors, an incredible writer, the biggest names in TV basically. So ActsOnThis.tv/live, and then bulletproofactor.com to find out everything about this event in November. So Matt, I'm going to get you to do the catchphrase. Let's see if we can time it right, okay, with internet lags and stuff like that. We can do this. Love to everybody. Have an amazing week. Let's make the rest of your life the best of your life. Until next time, Matt, in 3, 2, 1.
Bye for now.
Yes, I think that was it. That's the first time I think we were in sync. Amazing. Have a great week, folks. Bye for now.